This build has everything: high damage, high defenses, resistance to all damage, temporary HP, become the Riz God you've always wanted, 22 charisma. You're not going to fail anything. It has range attacks, it has utility and CC, it has heals. There is nothing this build can't do, and you're going to play it. I'll show you how. Okay, so starting with races. Um, the best race in the game is probably half orc. Very other little races in the game offer anything, but half orc offers so much. Not only do you get proficiency and intimidation just right off the bat for being a half orc, you also get relentless endurance, which lets you come back to 1 HP after you've been sent to 0, which obviously makes you more tanky. And then you also get savage attack, which lets you add an extra damage die whenever you crit. And we're going to be critting pretty much all the time because we're going to have advantage. And getting 2 rolls means that we have double the chances of getting a critical hit. So I highly recommend half orc. In the end, doesn't really matter. It's kind of your choice, but I highly recommend Paladin. These are going to be your starting skills. You go 16 strength, 14 con, and 16 charisma. We're going to take these all the way to level 9. And then we're going to respec at level 9. So just giving you a heads up, this is already a great build early game. Late game, it just becomes a freaking monster. You never die. I died 0 times in my entire tactician run with this character, and I went down maybe 3 times. 2 at the beginning of the game, 1 at the end boss, because I was just like, fuck it, I can't die, and I got reckless. Anyway, here we go. That was level 1, going to level 2. Okay, level 2. I'm not going to go over every spell. You can just copy and paste what you see I click on, because, trust me, I know what I'm talking about. Fighting style, we're going to go defense. It's better to have high AC if you're playing tactician, because you don't want to get hit. Those things hit hard as hell. Great weapon fighting is good if you're playing anything below tactician. Okay, so for spells, these are the spells you're going to want to choose. If you get the tier sword, which I highly recommend early game, I took that pretty far up into my paladin. I think I was level 6 before I switched off. Then you don't really need shield of faith on there. You can instead put probably like protection from good and evil or something. And if you don't have a cleric, I suggest putting bless on there. Bless can be invaluable, especially in tactician, because you want to hit your enemies, and even though you have advantage, some enemies have like super high AC. So someone that has bless would definitely help your party out in terms of hitting high AC targets. You could just focus on other enemies that don't have high AC, I suppose, but you're not always going to have that luxury. So these are the spells I recommend, mostly because of utility. You get to knock enemies prone and frighten, and I don't need to explain why that's powerful. Alright, okay, level 3. This is where the whole reason that we go Paladin, and most importantly, we go Oath of Vengeance. Because right here, Vow of Enmity, this is what's going to give us advantage on any attack that we need. You just choose an enemy, and for 10 turns, you have advantage on that enemy with your attacks. Doesn't matter if it's ranged attacks or melee attacks. You're just going to have advantage. It's freaking great, trust me. And you get it back on a short rest. You also get Abjure Enemy, also nice. You can single out an enemy and be like, hey, stay right there. Just be frightened of me, don't do anything. And they just sit there with their tail between their legs. These are great too. We're not going to mess with them though. Paladin, level 4. I want to show you the Omega power boost you get here at level 4. And it is all has to do with Great Weapon Master. This is the best feat in the game, hands down. Polar Master is great too, but once you combine Polar Master with this, then it just takes it to a whole new level. And you don't need Polar Master on this build. I'm just going to teach you how effective it is just with Great Weapon Master itself. When you land a critical hit or kill a target with a melee weapon attack, you can make another melee weapon as a attack as a bonus action that turn. Attacks with heavy melee weapons you are proficient with can deal additional 10 damage at the cost of -5 attack penalty roll. You can toggle this on and off. So don't let that -5 scare you. That basically won't matter too much because, like I said, we're going to have advantage on every attack anyway. And if you can always toggle it on and off in case an enemy does have like super high AC and you don't have bless right now or something. And yeah, literally just getting a free attack whenever you crit or kill an enemy, which you're going to do a lot of the time, most of the time. There's no downside to this weapon or to this feat. You gotta take it. Level 5. We are almost done with our Paladin. We're going to start jumping into Warlock here pretty soon. Level 5, our damage doubles, right? This is where shit gets crazy because you get an extra attack. That means you get 2 swings of Great Weapon Master if you want. Um, Real quick, I haven't messed with the spells in a bit. Protection for Poison is okay. None of your second level spells really are that good. You could just go with Brandy Smite. Most of the time, you're just going to want to have Shield of Faith up. It is concentration. You're only allowed 1 concentration spell. Uh, in Tactician, I found that Shield of Faith is probably one of the best things to concentrate on because it's just up for long rest. It's only 1 spell you have to spend all day. And, you shouldn't be breaking concentration too much, especially when it comes to the next level because your defenses are going to be so high, you're going to be resistant to all damage at this point. So it's like you shouldn't be losing Shield of Faith too much. Um, the other thing you're going to be hitting a lot, probably Wrathful Smite if you want to give enemies disadvantage. But otherwise, you're just going to want to hit Thunderous Smite. For whatever reason, this isn't concentration. So you can just spam Thunderous Smite, knock enemies to the ground. That gives you and everybody else advantage on the attacks. Plus, your enemies can't take reactions or do anything. Um, they just made prone crazy here. So I highly recommend using Thunderous Smite whenever you just need to gobsmack somebody in the face. Another good option, obviously, is Command. This isn't concentration either. You can just tell enemies, hey, drop on the ground, or hey, run away. And as long as they fail your wisdom save, they're going to do exactly what you tell them. You command them. Okay, that's level 5. Let's go on. All right, so quick notes on level 5. You are going to want to take on Auntie Ethel, the hag, in her lair. Important notes. You can't face her in her little hut. You have to wait till she goes down to her lair, and there's a couple specifics that you're going to have to know. You have to get her health down to, I believe, it's like 10 HP or less, and then you have to let her get to her turn. This is, I'm trying to teach you how to get the +1 to any stat. And obviously, you're going to put the stat into charisma. Super important. Don't put the stat into strength. That'll be the bane of your existence. You're not going to be able to respect that. You have to put it into charisma. So, yeah, attack her in her lair. Make sure it's her turn. Make sure her HP is like 10 or less, and then she'll convince you, or she'll try to dialogue with you, like, please don't kill me. I'm really small and fragile and old. And you'll be like, yeah, but I really want to kill you. And she'll be like, wait, eat my hair. You get really strong. And you're like, okay, sure. Um, However, also, quick note, that's gonna break your oath. If you took Vengeance Paladin, it'll break your oath to take that extra power. I could be wrong. Maybe if someone else dialogues with her, then it won't break your oath. Either way, not a huge deal. Um, if you decide to go with Oathbreaker, that's also a really good subclass. You just won't get the advantage like as a bonus action. You have to use an action instead. And I think they have to make a save for it. So it's not the biggest deal if you go Oathbreaker. Um, it is better to go with Vengeance though. You can just retake your oath. It's really super uncomplicated. It's super simple. So yeah, that's the notes that you should have for Auntie Ethel's. It's a pretty easy fight. Yeah, just follow the steps. Make sure you do it around level 5. Um, Maybe level 6 if you're feeling sketched out. Level 6 Paladin. Here we go. This is our last level of Paladin. You get the best thing that paladins get, besides smiting, I guess, your aura of protection. And it's a little glitched right here. For some reason, it says a +0 to saving throws. It actually scales off of your charisma. Right now, our charisma is 16, so that gives us a +3 to all of our saving throws. As long as you're conscious, you and nearby allies up to 10 feet are getting +3 to the saving throws at level 6. We're going to crank this up to a +6 to every saving throw. And I'll show you how to do that. It's really easy. Okay, level 7. This is where you start to deviate off of Paladin. We had our fun. We got everything great that's in Paladin. Now we're going to split off and start dipping into Warlock. Who would have guessed? Here we go. Warlock. Now, absolutely 100% of the time, you're going to take Eldritch Blast. You always want Eldritch Blast. Roleplay wise, I suggest getting friends. This is where you become the Riz God, right? You want to make friends with everybody. it says in higher difficulty modes the target can accuse you of enchanting them. I never had that happen to me. I did use this a few times. Maybe if you use it on an important NPC or something, then maybe they'll accuse you of that. But for the most part, whenever I used it in like small dialogue, there was no downsides. Going friends is probably the way to go. If you don't want to go friends because you hate dialogue and you're just murdering people, I guess, I don't know. Go with probably poison spray, maybe bone chill, but probably poison spray. Uh, for your subclass for Warlock, go with the Fiend. The Fiend is just gives you a little tanky bonus because it gives you temporary hit points, and temporary hit points is especially good in this game because, like I said, I'm going to teach you how to resist all damage in the game. Um, so obviously, when you have temporary hit points, it's going to have that too, and you get these temporary hit points back every time you kill a hostile creature, which is going to be all the time. And when you kill a hostile creature, you use your bonus action to attack again. So it's like you're always having temporary hit points. You're always resisting damage. You're never going to go down. For spells, you can just take off Arms of Hadar. It's kind of trash. And you can throw on Hellish Rebuke. Not a whole lot of good options there for some reason. Okay, level 2 of Warlock. Shit's pretty straightforward. You could just go with Expeditious Retreat. You're going to go for your invocations. You're going to go Agonizing Blast, and you're going to go Repelling Blast. Agonizing Blast, no brainer. You want to do more damage. This is where you start getting your range, your pew pew. Agonizing Blast is going to let you add your Charisma modifier to your Eldritch Blast. And then you're going to want Repelling Blast too. At this point, you're already doing 2 blasts with your Eldritch Blast, so you're pushing enemies back like 30 feet. You're obviously throwing people off cliffs, which insta-kills people. Repelling Blast is just so good. We're going to get Devil's Sight 2 at level 5 for Warlock. But yeah, that's good. That was level 2 for Warlock. Okay, level 3 Warlock. Easy peasy. We're going to take Blindness, and we're going to take Pact of the Blade. Pact of the Blade, this is where at level 9 you're going to want to respec your character. And the reason why we're doing that is because Bind Pact Weapon right here. This is going to let you attack with your Charisma modifier instead of having to use your Strength. And we're just going to pretty much focus on Charisma from here on out. Level 9 is the game changer. Yeah, we just embrace all of our potential for this right here. So we're going to respec real quick. I'm going to show you exactly how to do that. Yeah, let's do it. Here we go. Hey guys, Itchy from the future here. Just in the editing process, I saw that I made a tiny little boo-boo. So, you might see that my stats are a little fucked up later on in the video. Just copy this right here and ignore the stats for what you might see. We're gonna have 16 into con here. I accidentally put the extra point into strength. I meant to put it in con. So we're gonna have 12 dex, 16 con, and 17 charisma. I was stumbling there in the editing process, and I'm like, wait, something doesn't look right here. And yeah, so this is the correct stuff. So make sure you have this when you respec at level 9. This is what you should look like at level 1. Obviously, you're gonna have the +1 extra for Ethel's hair, so you're gonna be 18. But yeah, just make sure you do that. Okay, bye. Okay, guys, we're back here, and now we're level 10. For the extra cantrip, you can probably just go Poison Spray. None of these other ones are really that useful. For some reason, like every undead is resistant to necrotic, which it's not really supposed to be that way. I mean, there's an entire ass effect that says undead receives disadvantage on attack rolls. Anyway, I'm not gonna get too into it. Kind of sucks because Bone Chill is actually a pretty good spell otherwise. Anyway, spells, we're gonna go with Darkness here. And feats, we're not gonna need a feat. We're just gonna go straight to ability improvement, and we're gonna take our 18 charisma to 20. Now I fucked up on this character. I don't have the anti Ethel hair like I told you to get. I gave mine to Lizelle. So your stats is gonna say 20 on charisma. Mine says 19. But yeah, just ignore that. All right, so level 11. Here we go. This is level 5 in Warlock. We're just gonna take probably Hypnotic Pattern. The reason why you take Hypnotic Pattern is the radius is so big, it can affect so many enemies. It can also hit your teammates and yourself, so be careful how you place it. But otherwise, it basically makes it so the enemies just stand there and gaze up at the sky, drooling, and it's such a great CC. There's no reason not to take it. The other invocation we're going to take is Devil's Sight. The reason why we take this is because we chose Darkness earlier, if you remember that. And Devil's Sight is going to let us see through the darkness. And the reason why that's so good is because that's going to give us advantage because enemies can't see through darkness, but we can. So they can't hit us, but we can hit them. So they have disadvantage on their attacks when they can even try to attack us. And we have advantage on them. Now that's going to take your concentration, but still, great feature to have. Especially in a bind, you can even get your teammates to dip and duck and dodge inside of the fucking darkness while, you know, we're all just kind of gathering around. So that makes it great. That's level 11. Let's go to 12. Level 12 Warlock. Here we go. The last level. Basically, you just probably want to choose Fireball. You could go Hunger Fadar. Doesn't really matter. Fireball just gets rid of the trash mobs. And you get this back on a short rest anyway, so you can spam fireballs if you just fireball run. I don't know. But yeah, go Fireball. This is your 12th level. Accept. And congratulations, now you are the most OP character in the game. I guess there's a couple of things. This class pairs really well with Cleric. The reason why you want a Cleric, I use Shadowheart, is because there is a spell called Warding Bond. This spell is totally underrated. You get to ward an ally, which means they get resistance to all damage and a +1 bonus to their armor class and saving throws. So every defense, you get a +1, which is crazy on its own. But the fact that you get resistance to all damage, it's crazy. Now the only downside about that is that Shadowheart or whoever your cleric is going to take the damage that you resist. So you're probably gonna want to like hide Shadowheart or your cleric from like any crazy damage. Definitely give them like a shield and stuff to like pump up their AC. I got Shadowheart rocking some pretty good armor and stuff like that. You got to take care of your clerics, right? Because they're trying to take care of you. Uh, yeah, Warding Bond lasts for an entire long rest, so you just cast it once at the beginning of your camp, and then you're good to go at the beginning of your day. Speaking of the beginning of your day, though, actually, you're going to, well, the first time you have to activate your Aura of Protection for some reason. And I think you have to do that every time you die. Just don't die. It'd be easy. The other thing you have to do at the start of your day, you're always going to want to do this. You have to bind your packed weapon. And the reason why you do that is because it'll make it so you're using your charisma for attacks instead of your strength. There's a little bit of a difference there between 20 and 11. Mine says 21. Yours will be 22 because, you get Birthright. Birthright you don't find until Act 3, but you get it pretty easy. If I remember correctly, you get it in a shop that you can't miss in Act 3. You can just buy it right off of them. And it gives you a +2 to Charisma, and that'll take your stuff up to a 22, which is great. That means your DC is higher for your spells and effects. Your Charisma is higher, so you can just riz people up. That means your attacks are going to hit harder and more accurately. So, and also, it gives you an extra save, an extra +1 to all your saves. So all your saves are going to be at a +6 right now. Like I said, mine is a little fucked right now because I don't have Auntie Elto's hair, but yours is going to be 22 once you get Birthright. So all these are going to say +6 for you. You see the +5 for Aura of Protection, but it's going to be a +6 for everything. Yeah, and then you have any ranged attacks you need because you have 3 Eldritch Blasts. 1, 2, 3. Those do a shit ton of damage. They push people back 15 feet per. So you're just slapping people off the map. You're like, nope, this is my turf. You can cast Darkness, and then you can see in darkness. enemies can't see, but you can see how
Well struck.
it says blinded, but you're not actually blinded because it says advantage right there. So it's a little, it's blinded, but it's advantage. So it's weird. Uh, yeah. So there's just so much to this build. You get all the temporary hit points. Like I said, you get the resistance and all damage. So that lets you do some pretty funny stuff. Like this axe that I'm wearing, it's supposed to deal 1d4 damage of fire damage to me every turn, but I actually end up taking no damage because I resist fire, and then I have some plate armor. Since you're a paladin, you can rock plate armor, which is awesome. And it makes sure that all incoming damage is reduced by 2. This isn't even the best plate armor. I've given Lae'zel like some pretty good plate armor that gives a little bit more AC and gives you resistance and blade ward for free. So there's other plate armors out there. I don't have the best magic items, but Cloak of Displacement, this is really good too. At the beginning of the wearer's turn, Cloak activates, granting enemies disadvantage on attack rolls that target the wearer. The effect lasts until you take damage. So literally everybody's gonna have disadvantage on you. I'll show you what your AC is normally gonna be. You got Shield of Faith on there, and then you got Shadowheart, um, who's gonna warding bond you.
Let's get going.
So you're walking around with 23 AC. This is going to be pretty standard. There's no way you're going to fail a concentration or a concentration check when you have a +5 to your saving throws. I have an amulet too that gets my Constitution to 23. This is optional. You don't have to throw that on your paladin. I just think it's really funny that you have 142 HP and you're resistant to all damage and you get temporary hit points. I guess I could show you that, but then I have to kill somebody. You're just gonna have to trust me. You get 12 temporary hit points when you kill something, and that lasts until you long rest, I think, or until obviously they get depleted. So yeah, there's just so much going on with this build. And I think you're all gonna love it, like I did. You got all the things that a paladin does. You got lay on hands and everything. Yeah, you're pretty much always gonna have advantage because you have your vow of enmity. You even have divine sense, which will make sure that whenever you attack celestials, fiends, or undead, you have an advantage. That lasts 2 turns, and you get it back on short rest. You can knock enemies prone, or have someone else do it. With thunderous smite, it's easy peasy. It's just so much damage, and it's really just a hell of a lot of fun. So, guys, that'll wrap it up. I think this build really just speaks for itself. You're going to be just dominating anything, however, which way you want to. You can push them off maps. You can slap them in the face with a giant smite and, take a short rest, get all your smites back. Um, there's no downside to this build, and I mean that. It does kind of suck the way they make it so you have to use all of your regular slots before you use your Warlock slots. I think that should probably be fixed. Um, but yeah, you have everything under the sun in terms of utility, uh, high defenses, everything you need. So that's my build, guys. Hope you enjoy. I'll catch you guys on the next episode. I'll come up with more builds here pretty soon. Later, dude.